The Florida High School Athletic Association recently denied two Christian high schools the ability to use a public loudspeaker to pray before their state championship football game. This week, the Texas-based Liberty Institute, acting on behalf of one of the teams, asked for an apology. And joining us now with the latest is Roger Byron with Liberty Institute. Thanks a lot for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
What is the specific apology that you're asking the association for?
Well, first of all, obviously, we have an important matter here. At stake is the right of Americans in general to pray in a public place or through a public venue without being censored. And specifically, what we're asking the Florida High School Athletic Association to do is basically to apologize to our client, to the Cambridge Christian School, for censoring their speech and to amend their policies to be in accordance with long, basic stated law.
All right. Now, the Florida High School Athletic Association says it's following a 2000 Supreme Court decision that said that football teams cannot use a stadium PA system to broadcast pre- or post-game prayers. So why do you believe that schools can use the public loudspeaker to pray?
That is an erroneous reading of that particular case. They're referring to Santa Fe versus Doe. And that case did involve a football game and prayer and a loudspeaker. But the similarities between the two matters end there. In that particular matter, that policy itself, not praying through a loudspeaker, but the policy underlying it, was found to endorse religion and violate the Constitution. What we have here is something at the opposite end of the spectrum. We have a government entity that has prohibited prayer, i.e., any kind of religious speech, in a government venue. The Supreme Court many times and through many cases had made very clear that that type of viewpoint discrimination, even in the most carefully regulated government property like a military base, is strictly prohibited.
All right, because the association is saying that it's concerned that it's endorsing religion by allowing prayer over the loudspeaker, but you're saying that's viewpoint discrimination.
It's not just me saying that. Yes, that is Supreme Court precedent. And it makes sense if you think about it. I mean, who could look at two Christian schools playing a football game and praying before the football game as a government endorsing religion? That is a stretch at best.
So what is next in this case? Where do you go from here?
Well, hopefully the Florida High School Athletic Association will read the law and understand it. It's not difficult to do. We supplied the most of it in our demand letter we sent earlier this week. And hopefully they will respond accordingly, issue the requested apology, amend their policy, and we can all go on our merry way. And hopefully Cambridge will be at the championship again next year.
Right.
If not, if the Athletic Association decides to continue on with their unlawful policy, they will probably see us in court.
And what would you like high schools around the country to learn from this? I mean, this issue of prayer just comes up repeatedly.
Certainly. The First Amendment was put in place specifically to protect people of faith, to protect religious speech from unlawful censorship by the government. It's been that way since our Constitution was ratified. The First Amendment was not put in place to give the government or a government entity or any type of state actor the ability to censor government speech. Americans, whether they're football players or administrators of private Christian schools or anyone on the street, has the fundamental right under the laws of the federal government as well as their own states to engage in religious speech wherever they happen to be. And it is against the law, fundamentally against the law, well-established law, for the government to discriminate against them in any way because of their religious viewpoint.
All right, Roger Byron, thank you so much for your time. We'll be following this case.
Thank you.